Na. Hey YouTube, my name is Vin. I like to play games, and welcome back to another episode of Vin Plays Yahoo Fantasy Football. This is my Week 12 starter show, where I go over my matchups against my opponent and decide who I'm going to start for the week. So let's go ahead and dive into it. First, checking to see who I picked up off of the waiver wire. We ended up having a successful bid for J.K. Dobbins here, and we forked over a bunch of cash for him. We ended up paying 30 fab for him. To reiterate what I said during my last video, this is more to keep him away from my opponents. I really believe that if J.K. Dobbins did take over that backfield, he could easily become a high-end wide receiver, a high-end running back too. So someone in around the lines of Chris Carson. And looking over my opponents, my main competition, that is, who are Von like Donkey Kong, The Drafted, and It's Going Down. All three of them could really use some depth, and really, yeah, they could really use a wide receiver. I keep saying wide receiver. A running back too. He does have the plague, so he is on the plague list. He will not be playing during this week against Pittsburgh, although Pittsburgh is a tough matchup anyways, so he might be back next week against, who is he playing next week? Against Dallas, although he has tested positive for plague, that is, so he's not just on the list. So depending, hopefully, knock on wood, he doesn't have severe symptoms of the plague, so he could get through it quickly and get healthy quickly. But yeah, our major pickup was J.K. Dobbins. We ended up dropping our second defense in the Washington football team for him, and we also ended up dropping Carson Wentz to make room for Deebo Samuel, who we had to take off of IR because he is active now. He will be playing this week against the Rams, I believe. Are we playing the Rams? Yeah, against the Rams this week. So yeah, those are pretty much the major moves I made off of the waiver wire. Let's go ahead and jump into our matchup. So this week we are playing Booyah. Booyah, I believe, is in 5th place, in the standings, that is. Looking at the projections, we are projected to have a sizable lead against Booyah, or a convincing win against Booyah, but let's go ahead and dive into our individual matchups to see how much we believe those projections. Looking at our quarterback situation, Aaron Rodgers, and of course Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, my Green Bay stack, he is playing Chicago, and Chicago is one of the best at defending quarterbacks. So again, like last week, we're going to need to have tempered expectations when it comes to this week. What is he projected to have? He's projected to have 26 points. If he gets that, we'll be more than happy with that outcome. 26 points would be fine. Hopefully, somewhere between 25 and 30 points would be great, actually, against Chicago. Although there is a chance that Chicago can get boat raced in the same way that San Francisco got boat raced earlier in the year against Green Bay, that is, because Nick Foles doesn't look like Nick Foles is going to play. It looks like he's still injured. I don't believe he practiced this week, and it's starting to look like Mitch Trubisky might play, although their coach Matt Nagy has not named a starter yet, so it might even be the third string quarterback if Mitch Trubisky is not healthy enough to play. But if Mitch Trubisky comes back, it's been a while since he started a football game. If their offense is in total disarray, then maybe Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay offense will be put in very good situations because of the incompetent offense, and maybe they'll rack up points that way. But as far as history is concerned, and considering just the Chicago defense is super good. So tempered expectations both for Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. looking at his projection, wow, 19 points projected. If he gets 19 points this week, I'll be super happy. I'd be thrilled about that. I'm expecting something more between maybe 12 and 16 points would be more realistic in my eyes. But yeah, tempered expectations for my Green Bay players this week. Right now, I do have Robert Woods starting in my second wide receiver spot. He does have a really tough matchup against San Francisco, but like I brought up during the last video, San Francisco is better at stopping the run than they are at stopping passes. So maybe the Rams take this same kind of game plan that they had against Tampa Bay, and they just plan to pass more than run, and basically just build their offense and build their offensive schemes and game plan based on not being able to run. And if that's the case, then Robert Woods could get the same kind of volume and could get the same kind of scoring that he got last week. Not knock on wood. But this is kind of a tough decision for me when it comes to our second wide receiver spot. We do have Allen Robinson available now, but he does have a tough matchup against Green Bay. Green Bay does have Jair Alexander, who will probably be shadow covering him through most of this game. So that is a really tough matchup for Allen Robinson, especially considering the question marks surrounding his quarterback right now. If it's Nick Foles, if it's Mitch Trubisky, if it's some random third string quarterback, we don't know right now. So I'd really prefer to sit Allen Robinson here with all those unknowns. And our other option would be Deontay Johnson, which he does have a bad matchup as well against Baltimore. But I'd lean towards starting Deontay Johnson over Robert Woods here. But the thing is, a bunch of players, including J.K. Dobbins, who I just talked about, have tested positive in this matchup on Baltimore. So the game was supposed to happen tomorrow, Thursday. It was supposed to be a Thursday game, a Thanksgiving game, but now it's been postponed to Sunday. But we don't know if more positive players are going to come out. If more positive tests come out, then it might be postponed until Tuesday. And yeah, if it's postponed till Monday or Tuesday, it's really up in the air whether or not we're going to have another bye week or what they're going to do if they can't play this week. There's a lot of question marks as to whether this game is going to actually go down. So as of right now, to be safe, I have Robert Woods in that spot. But if I knew that the game was going to go down 100% on Sunday, then it'd kind of be a coin flip between Deontay Johnson and Robert Woods here. Deontay Johnson has been getting just a ton of targets. So even against that bad matchup, if he is getting 12 looks or 12 opportunities to catch like he's been getting over the last couple of games, then that'll be some production. That's potential for production anyways. But let's go ahead and look over at our opponent. He is starting Russell Wilson, who hasn't looked all that great the last couple of games. Philadelphia, that defense is pretty good, although their offense just has been horrible over the last few games as well. Russell Wilson at 27-point projection. He could easily get that though. Russell Wilson, and he's getting Chris Carson back as well. So with Chris Carson back, maybe that'll be the shot of energy that offense needs to get rolling again. And Russell Wilson can easily explode here. I'm always afraid of playing against Russell Wilson. He's just that good. So yeah, we're afraid of Russell Wilson here. Let's go ahead and look at his first wide receiver spot. DJ Moore, he does have a good matchup against Minnesota, and he has been playing better over the last few games as well. Yeah, 18 points against Detroit and 17 points against Tampa Bay. DJ Moore, and against Minnesota, that's a very plus matchup. DJ Moore is looking, actually, I'm a little concerned about DJ Moore as well. He could easily get those kind of numbers again this week against Minnesota. Let's go ahead and go to a second wide receiver spot, and it is AJ Brown. AJ Brown is very scary. although he is up against the Indianapolis defense, which is pretty good, although Davante Adams did come out with a good game against them. But A.J. Brown, all it takes is one play. So A.J. Brown has the strength to break tackles and the speed to outrun anyone on the field. So all it takes is one catch, and he could easily have a 70-yard touchdown. And all it takes is one play for him to accumulate a week's worth of points. Let's go ahead and go over our running backs. Of course, we have Nick Chubb. He is in a smash spot against Jacksonville. 15 projected points. Yeah, we're expecting around there. Yeah, well, as a floor, that is. Hopefully he scores multiple touchdowns here. Jacksonville's defense is very, very bad, and hopefully he gets the opportunity to score touchdowns, period. Because during the last game, I think I talked about it a little bit during our last video too, Kareem Hunt got the majority of the goal line work there, but I think that was more fluky than the game plan, because he was having problems with his contact lenses, and also there was a series in the game where he actually lost a shoe, and he was taken out of the game in order to get his shoe back on. So hopefully Nick Chubb smashes here. Well, I'm expecting Nick Chubb to have a smash game right here. In our second running back spot, we do have Antonio Gibson. He does have a really good matchup against Dallas here, and knock on wood, the game script for this game is going to be a positive game script for the Washington football team. And like we keep saying with him, he will thrive in with positive game scripts. This is kind of a tough decision for me as well, because we have two other really solid options here, if they play, that is, because we do have DeAndre Swift, but he is coming off of concussion protocol, so he's going to be a game time decision. His game is tomorrow. He has a Thanksgiving game, but he does have a super good matchup against Houston. If he does play tomorrow, I will probably start him. I really like that matchup against Houston. Houston cannot stop the run, and DeAndre Swift has just been really good over the last few games. They have given over the keys to that backfield over to him, and he's getting the lion's share of the work. And yeah, this matchup is hard to pass up. So if DeAndre Swift does play tomorrow, I will likely play him. And is that the morning game? Yeah, that is the morning game, and Gibson is the afternoon game. So we will know if DeAndre Swift is going to play tomorrow before we have to play Antonio Gibson. And we also do have Chris Carson. His game is on Monday, which is kind of dissuading me from starting him. Well, not only that though, but the Philadelphia defense is pretty good against the run. So I don't like his matchup. I don't like that he's coming back from injury, and he'll be at risk for re-injury. And not only that, since he has the Monday night game, if he ends up being, for whatever reason, if he ends up not playing, then we will be very limited in what options. We will basically have nobody actually to replace him with. So that being said, I am leaning towards starting DeAndre Swift or Antonio Gibson in this spot. Looking over to my opponent's side, Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is a really good player. Miles Sanders is somebody to be worried about, although that offense has been in a bit of disarray for the last few games. He did have a negative game or a down game last week against Cleveland, although Cleveland does have a pretty good run defense. Seattle has a decent run defense, middle of the pack, but yeah, Miles Sanders, like Nick Chubb, he could take it to the house anywhere. He's a threat to score anywhere on the field. He has the speed to outrun anyone as well, so all it takes is one play for him to accumulate all of his points. Miles Sanders, I'm moderately worried about right now. Looking at his second running back, he has Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson does have a really good matchup here against Detroit. Yeah, Detroit, like Green Bay, can't stop anybody on the ground, but he just hasn't been playing well over the last few games. Yeah, just looking at his game log here: 5 points against New England, 5 points against Cleveland. From all the analysts that I've been reading and watching, he hasn't looked good. I haven't seen him play. I haven't seen any Houston games. I don't believe this year actually, but from all accounts, he has not passed the eye test as well. So yeah, we are not afraid of Duke Johnson here. If he does not score a touchdown, then he will likely only have like 4 or 5 points as well. Nothing too scary about his second running back there. Going down the list to the tight end position, of course we are starting Darren Waller, and Darren Waller is in a smash spot against Atlanta. Atlanta can't stop any pass catchers, so any wide receivers, any tight ends, they can't stop any offense really this year. So Darren Waller, we are expecting to smash, to have a super good game this week. 13 projected points. At least he should at least get 13 points. Although, you know, the tight end position in general has been so volatile. You know, you can never be too sure about anyone's floor. But Darren Waller does get the targets. He does get the looks. He does get the looks. So we are expecting him to smash here. Looking over to the other side, Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper does have a good matchup against Jacksonville. I'm not actually sure how well he's done over the last few games. Let's go ahead and take a peek. He hasn't done very well, 4 points and 1 point. But as far as how many targets has he been getting? 5 and 2. Well, you know what? Yeah, I don't think Austin Hooper is going to do that well. He does have a plus matchup here. Like most other tight ends, though, yeah, it looks like if he doesn't score a touchdown, he's probably not going to be scary at all. So yeah, I'm not too worried about Austin Hooper in this situation for this week. Going over to our flex spot, we do have Josh Jacobs. He is in our flex spot again, just because he is playing a little bit later than everybody else. Actually, yeah, because our other guys are playing on Thursday. Well, Nick Chubb, he's playing at the same time as Nick Chubb. But anyways, Josh Jacobs against Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta can't really stop any offense. I'm expecting a smash spot here as well. Looks like about 15 projected points here. I'm expecting at least that, hopefully more. Knock on wood, hopefully more. But yeah, Josh Jacobs has just looked so good over the last 2 or 3 games. We cannot not start him. I feel very confident in Josh Jacobs for this week. Going over to the other side, this guy is somebody to be very scared of. Will Fuller has been tearing it up this year. He has been really consistent, which is surprising because over the last couple of years he has been very, very much a boom bust type player. But looking over his game log, 11 points. He had a down week against Cleveland as well. But against Jacksonville, 18 points. Yeah, he could easily explode this week against Detroit. Detroit's defense has just been really, really bad. Game script wise though, actually now that I think of it, Detroit will be without Kenny Golladay. So perhaps if the game script is super positive, if Houston could come out to like a huge lead, maybe they won't need to throw the ball as much. You know, knock on wood, fingers crossed. But I'm not really expecting that so much. Yeah, Will Fuller should smash in this spot. And yeah, he is very concerning this week. Going over our kickers, it looks like we pretty much have a wash here between Younghoe Koo and Dan Bailey. Both have pretty good matchups, Las Vegas and Younghoe against Las Vegas and Dan Bailey against Carolina. There should be a lot of points in both games, that is. So yeah, kind of a coin flip there. And actually, yeah, projection wise, they're projected to have the exact same points. So, and then we are starting Los Angeles. again, I do feel a little bit, I would feel a little bit better, that is, starting Washington against Dallas, but we needed the space. And, San Francisco will still be starting Nick Mullins. They are getting back Deebo Samuel and Raheem Mostert, but, the Los Angeles defense has just been really good. I dare say they are an elite defense this year. So, yeah, just fingers crossed that they're able to shut these guys down. And particularly with Mullins, I think they'll do really well. I have a feeling that Washington will be doing better. But since we'd only be playing Washington for this week, and we are holding on to the Rams for the for their playoff schedule, I decided just to jettison the Washington football team and let's stick with the Rams. Looking over to the other side, Kansas City against Tampa Bay. Wow, he didn't want to pick up anybody else. Tampa Bay, I'm expecting Tampa Bay to put up some points here. They put up a ton of points against the Rams last week, so I'm not sure about that decision. I feel pretty confident in my matchup here for our defenses. And I think that pretty much covers everything for this video. Thanks again for watching another episode of Vin Plays Yahoo Fantasy Football. I hope everybody has a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next time.